Hey guys and gals, Winston Goodfellow here. I'm at the Arizona Concours, which went away for a few years. And this is a fantastic event because it's a group of high-level cars in an intimate atmosphere. And so this used to be at the Biltmore, which was a lovely resort over in Phoenix. And now they've brought it over to the Performing Arts Center in Scottsdale. We're gonna go out and do a couple laps around the field. I'm giving out an award. And so what they want me to do is select a post-war sports GT or race car that I would most like to be the subject of my next photo shoot. Can't wait for this one because I've already seen some really tasty stuff. And what's kind of funny, there's also a lot of stuff that I would normally vote for, but I've already shot it. And so I want to do something I haven't shot before. And so something else that's kind of fun, this is the first time I've had to use an overcoat during judging because it's pretty brisk here. And so here we are in Scottsdale in late January. This is the start of auction week. You'll be seeing more of us throughout the week. And I hope you enjoy this, and I hope you like what else is coming. Okay guys, this has been a headache. This has actually been fun trying to figure out what it is that I want to do. Because as you'll see later with some clips, there's so many cars here that I've already shot that would be contenders. And so I want to do something that I haven't shot before. And so after going around this thing more than once, more than twice, I've got it narrowed down to 5 cars. And so I'm still up in the air on where I'm going to go. I think I know maybe the lead to, maybe. We'll see. So hang in there, and then I'll let you know what I pick, and then you'll see it later. And this has been a lot of fun. So see you shortly. Okay, everyone, this is where I'm kind of lamenting the fact that I couldn't vote pre-war, because if I could have put pre-war cars in to my deliberation, this would have been a contender, because I love the design on this. When you look at the proportions, and in particular the color, with the silver, and then you've got the pinstripes that are red, the way it pulls to the accent, pulls off the interior, it's a fantastic accent. But like I said, I couldn't judge this. So I just thought I'd show this to you because this is a lovely piece of pre-war machinery, this Delahaye. Another part of my deliberation was I wanted to get stuff that I hadn't shot before. So for instance, back in the day when these were new, I was road testing these and shooting them. And I love the wedge shape of the Diablo, and then particularly the SV, that they've got the graphics on the side where it says SV and it looks like it's just flowing along like the car. This was a real raw piece on the road. It was a lot of fun to drive. I personally preferred the Diablo SC, but the SV wasn't bad. And then on right next to it is the 8C Competizione. This was based on an Alfa Romeo. The design of this was based on an Alfa Romeo from the mid-1950s called the Sportiva, of which they made 2, which was designed by a guy named Franco Scaglione. For those that are super into it, he designed the Alfa Romeo Bats that we've already shot one of those. I thought about this for my award because I also thought these colors were fantastic, just kind of that light metallic silver with a red interior. It's hard to go wrong with that color combination. And the one of these that I actually shot was the styling buck. It was a full-scale styling buck. I shot it on the Balocco racetrack because the designer was a good bud of mine named Wolfgang Edgar, who was head of design at Alfa at the time, and they weren't sure if the car was going to go into production. And so we took the buck out there. They wanted someone to have footage of it. And so we did a shoot out there with a team. At some time, guys, we should probably do a little episode on that. BMW Z8, this was not a contender for the award that I was looking at, but this is an awesome driver. It's almost like a muscle car, sports car. Yeah, I was testing these guys when they were new, and it has kind of a burly character on the road. Gearbox is good, the engine has good grunt, and it's not silky smooth like a paddle shift Ferrari of the period, like a 360. But I like that because this car had a lot of character and it's basically just as quick. So, Countach, God knows how many of those mothers I've shot. You know, there's your classic poster car of the 70s and 80s. So good colors on this. Black to gold, tan interior, gold wheels. And so I remember when these were first brought into the country, it was the gray market. And so they didn't have the bumpers figured out yet. So on some pictures, you'll see where there's like a wing on the front. That was actually a bumper because there was a height requirement for that. So here we are at the Arizona Concours, and they invited me this year to give out an award to the exceptional post-war sports GT or race car. And I love their criterion because it was basically, what would I want to have in my next photo shoot or my next book? And the problem is the caliber of cars here is so high that I kind of wish they'd let me do some pre-war stuff, because there's some great pre-war stuff. But the caliber of cars is so high that this was some work. And so this is one of my contenders, is this Lancia B52 Aurelia. This was done in 1952. They made 2 of these, and you can see the jet age coming to cars. So for instance, when you look at the big air intake in the front, that is mimicking the air intake of a jet engine. And in the way the fuselage is, that it's just long, low, and sleek. And the proportions on this thing and the colors are fantastic. And what's really ironic is a bud of mine, when I was in grade school, I didn't know this at the time, but his dad has one of the Berlinetta versions of this that he's had since about new, a guy named Shell Cavalli. My friend was Bruce Cavalli, and his dad, Shell Cavalli, had one of the Berlinettas of this from new, or real close to new. So colors on this, fantastic. So needless to say, a real good eye catcher. And so this is one of my contenders for the award. The Oscar here, one off, another contender. This was done by Vignale, was the coach builder, and then the actual designer was a guy named Giovanni Michelotti. And Michelotti was really in many ways the ultimate freelancer, meaning he worked for a bunch of the coach builders, designing cars, and for a number of different companies as well, in addition to the coach builders. And quick Michelotti's story is, I knew one of his friends over in Italy. And so the guy would talk about how humble the guy was, but his talent was off the charts. And so Michelotti was designing a Triumph. And so when he got on the plane in Turin to fly up to England, he went up there with a blank notebook. When he arrived in England, the notebook was filled with sketches. That's how good the dude was. And so Michelotti was really creative. And you can see it here, interesting Berlinetta design, the way there's that cutout in the side. This is just some really intriguing coach work. The two-tone paint, this car raced at, I think it was Le Mans, 2 years. It was a Mille Miglia or Le Mans. Back in the day it raced. And just a fascinating piece. So next to it's a Jag C-Type, lovely piece. And then here's another one-off, this 1953 Gilco. Gilco was a chassis manufacturer. And so this is an interesting Berlinetta design. So Green Monster's next to that, speed record car from early 60s, if I'm remembering correctly. There's a Veritas after that. There's just lots of great stuff here. A lot of it's one-off. The Veritas, they made about 20 of those, if I'm remembering correctly, of that particular design, out of maybe 70, 75 cars. This is fantastic. Here's more great pre-war stuff. This is Jag SS90. This was really, I can't say exactly this is the car that put Jaguar on the map, but I'm going to say this is the car that put Jaguar on the map. The SS90 was the prototype for, this is the prototype of all of them. First was the SS90, and then they went to the SS100, which had a bigger engine, was a 100-mile-an-hour car, at a price that was a lot less expensive than other guys that were offering 100-mile-an-hour cars. And
well, thank you so much.
I mean, just look at the fender line on that. How fantastic is that? Yeah, if I could have voted for pre-war cars, this would have been a contender. So here we are at the Arizona Concours after much head scratching today over a fantastic field of cars. The award that I was to choose, the one that I most wanted to do a photo session on, ended up being this one of two Lancia. It's a fantastic piece from 1952. And so this was the winner, and wait till you see what we're going to do with it. I think you're going to really enjoy it. Okay, I hope you've enjoyed our stroll through the Arizona Concours. Again, this is kind of the kickoff to the whole car week / auction week here. This is fantastic. Next year, look at it towards the second half of January is when they always do this. Come to this because they're going to have even more space next year. And so this was our quick walkthrough. I hope you enjoyed it. So hang in there because we've got more stuff coming throughout the whole week. Thanks so much.